Justin wins, Trump supporter spins, and gay bar sins. This week on The Point.
Qu'est-ce que tu vas me faire? Tu me fais pas peur. Plus de souper avec tes parents.
Hello and welcome to The Point, the only talk show bringing gay and straight men together to see what happens. And it's Halloween week.
Happy
Hello,
Halloween.
everybody. And we have a special guest for Halloween.
Hello, Spider-Man.
Do we have the rights for? I don't even know.
No, you don't.
No!
I think we've hit the limit. Yay, it's me! I'm back.
It's Jim. And yeah. We haven't seen you in the new season 4. How was your summer? How are things? How's the
Summer was
baby?
good. Baby is good and growing. You know, nothing unexpected, which is good with the baby.
Right.
Unless, of course, she skipped a whole bunch of grades and was already in grade 8 or something. But no, everything is good. She is a perfectly average baby, and we're perfectly happy with that. Yeah.
She's above average.
Well, in cuteness,
Yes.
she is totally, yeah.
You're working on that wedding toast already.
Yeah.
To my completely average daughter, I wish you a moderate amount of happiness.
And I tolerate you. At that.
Well, now that the whole family's back together, let's jump right into it. You can keep, don't put.
Yes,
that
I don't.
down.
There's nothing underneath this, so.
Talking. Oh my.
Yeah.
Talking point number 1: just in time. Okay, it actually has
I
been.
don't think that's his name.
It's been a very political week this week, in specifically the Canadian election, which actually people around the world were paying attention to, because it placed, the sort of progressive Justin Trudeau against the conservative Andrew Scheer. Justin Trudeau won a second term as prime minister, but with a minority
Barely, yeah.
government. Which for Americans watching, that's kind of like if the Republicans have the White House and one member and one House, they have the Senate, but the Democrats have the House. So it's kind of a split government. So now Canada has kind of the same thing. First, I want to know what your thought was about the result. Justin Trudeau winning and winning with a minority, not a majority.
Wasn't the popular vote to Andrew Scheer
yes,
like the same thing that happened back in the day in the States?
Yes, that's we're gonna get into that. But first, just the reaction to the result.
Super excited.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm neither excited nor anything. I mean, it's just nobody's ever gonna do anything in politics, as far as I'm concerned. Like, people will do like.
Wow, you're a cynical witch.
What has happened? I mean, like, he's done some things, but I mean, like, ultimately,
Trudeau, you mean, or just in general?
just in general. I mean, it's like everybody always promises the world, but never seems to deliver.
Yeah, but I think we're at a point though where we needed Trudeau because even if he doesn't end up doing a whole lot more, that Scheer would have just clawed back
100%.
and destroyed
100%.
everything for everyone
Except
under
rich
the
people.
guise of fiscal conservatism and return to traditional values.
Well, social conservative.
But it's not like, but in reality, in academic study, in practice, in all of it, almost every one of their policies have been shown to be incorrect and regressive. So I personally think that Trudeau is what we needed because the NDP weren't going to win. Like, we know that that's not going to
The
happen.
third party, the
despite
sort of
wanting to.
That's
Yeah,
what I hate.
yeah.
That's what I hate because of that.
So this was what we needed. We needed Trudeau to win because we needed
100%.
not to have the Conservatives.
You brought up an interesting point that even though the Liberals won the election, the Conservatives actually got more votes, much like Trump won the U.S. election in 2016, but Hillary got more votes.
because of the Electoral College. And that's
Right.
it's the same thing with like ridings and whatever.
Right,
Yeah,
right. Seats in the House, right. Is that a concern?
No.
Why?
Because I don't think people would have voted the way that they voted if we didn't have first past the post, first past the post system. I think it's what I've come to realize, that everyone talking about Hillary being popular vote. I think if you didn't have that system, it might not have gone that way. And like, I think the most people who voted for Justin Trudeau didn't want Justin Trudeau. They just really didn't want Andrew Scheer.
Yeah.
Oh, I think there's validity in that. I think in some ways Justin Trudeau didn't win. Andrew Scheer lost. And then, so the option was Justin Trudeau.
Justin Trudeau.
I do think there's an issue in the States with the Electoral College, and that's a whole topic.
It's an
for
older
another
country
day.
too, right? So like, it's different in terms of looking at like, what was a system that made sense when you first became a country to now the evolution of your democracy has changed dramatically since. Canada's a much younger country on
With a
the
lot less
scale.
people.
So, it's a bit of a different conversation.
Yeah.
I'm curious though, because this got a little bit of play during the election. Barack Obama tweeted his support for Trudeau.
endorsed Trudeau, right?
The Obama tweet said, quote, "The world needs his progressive leadership now." Some people criticized Obama for foreign interference in the Canadian election.
Oh my God.
Because if people get mad at foreign interference in the Trump election, why aren't they?
Because it's not the fucking
It's not,
same
no,
thing.
you just say he's a great guy.
Yeah, he's literally.
It's a private citizen too now.
Yeah,
so,
Right.
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
It's not like he's the president in power saying,
Yeah.
Right.
And also, it's not like Russia just said like, "Hey, everyone vote for Trump." As a
Right.
country, like
They-
they
Yeah, no.
actively, like you know what I mean. Like
Not
that's
in there.
it's not comparable.
But
Not the
is
same.
there? I thought that Obama's phrasing of it, like that he's the progressive leadership we need now. And when, by the way, Rihanna supported the NDP, tweeted her support for
Yeah,
the
I
NDP,
was super
and nobody was angry about at Rihanna.
No.
I didn't even know that happened.
Yeah.
That happened?
She's following him on like
that's
Instagram
Yeah.
or something. Yeah.
But
I also think it's funny that we're calling Barack Obama and Justin Trudeau progressive. They're not really all that
okay,
progressive.
but that I argue they are. Why do you say they're not?
Liberals tend to be more centrist than they do to be left.
I would say center left.
Sure, but I don't.
I agree with that.
I don't agree. And I think
How do you define progressive?
in terms of what they want to do, what they're going for. I mean, you look at Justin Trudeau's like climate change thing; it's not all that great. You look at fucking what NDP wants to do, free dental, all that
But
shit.
actually,
And it's
the
very
progressive party position on the NDP on climate change is not the whole enchilada either, right? So I mean, I think a lot of these parties are balancing what's politically doable in the short term in the interest of making things better in the long term. I mean, if you shoot for the moon right now when you know that politically it's not viable, then I mean it's this thing, are you better with half a loaf than a whole loaf if going for a full loaf gets you no loaf?
Oh my gosh.
that's a lot. That's a lot. To
That's a
digest
lot of
right
loaves.
there. That's a lot of loaves.
It's a lot of loaf.
Just two more things.
Yes.
My city the city I grew up in went green. So like congrats.
Oh, yes, in New Brunswick.
In New Brunswick, like God bless you. Also, I think
I don't understand the Green Party at all, but that's it.
That's what I voted for.
Really?
Mean,
I don't
did you?
understand the Green
Good
Party.
for you.
I did,
Good for you.
100%.
What's the point of the Green Party?
What do you mean? What's the
What's the
point
point?
of the Green Party?
I mean, if you want the progressive quote unquote party, there's the NDP.
True.
I hate that because this is why they don't win, because nobody fucking votes for them because they think they're throwing their vote away, which you're not.
No,
If everybody has that,
yeah.
but I mean, like I wanted to because they're very green forward. They're all about climate. That's progressive thinking as far as like
But is the
saving the
NDP
world.
not progressive enough?
Sometimes you need parties like the Green Party, though. Whether like I mean,
Yeah,
like, I get your frustration, but it's a world that we're almost never going to see
No, I know
them
that.
as an actual
It
government. But it's
sucks.
important that they
so. I don't think that's
exist
true.
to pull the other more viable candidates, like the NDP, further toward that side, and therefore the Liberals, who have to then compete with the NDP, further to that side, and therefore make it. You know what I mean?
To
like
me, it's just
it
splitting,
is valuable to have
splitting the
their
vote
existence.
on the left 1,000 different
No,
ways.
hey, I
The
just want to
NDP
say,
do that. The Green Party is useful for advancing the cause because nobody actually votes for them. Sorry, Ori, but you know what I'm talking about statistically.
Yeah, no, 100%. No.
You know what I'm saying.
I totally
I
understand.
really wish we were more like other countries, like I'm pretty sure it's Germany, who do a lot of coalition governments
They do.
because they
They
have
do.
so many more parties.
Italy,
so you
Israel,
have to come
yes.
together and work together, which we don't do here, which is why I'm so happy this fucker got a minority government, because he has to work with other people.
Yeah.
Also, one other thing I want to bring up is Alberta. Fuck off. Alberta literally needs to shut the fuck up. You're attacking Newfoundlanders because they all fucking voted red, and now you're saying liberal, yes. And so they're literally just like attacking them like left, right, and center, and it's awful. And they need to shut the fuck up.
I mean, it's the American equivalent is like red state America, right?
Yeah. So like the other thing too is that like you have there's more Newfoundlanders in Alberta than there are in Newfoundland. So back the fuck up. They're the people who do all of your work for you. So fuck off.
Also, they built their whole economy on a technology that is almost non-existent / becoming non-existent,
Well,
yes.
and therefore everything is collapsing. It's
Yes.
somebody trying to hold on to their glory days instead of trying to do
It's-
something.
yeah.
I have 2 points to make. Number one, we're talking about very serious issues with fascinators on our head.
I keep holding back my laughter from that. You're talking about something, I'm like, look at this.
And number two,
It's like this gesture talking about politics.
it's time for today's midpoint.
Yay!
This is like legit the most serious we've been all year, but we're all just dressed like this.
No mercy, baby.
And now it's time for today's midpoint. We're doing beside the point, headline hot takes, all those stories that aren't worthy of these big, lengthy discussions, but are still worthy of duly noting.
All right, let's go.
First, Kmart removes kid's bride costume after severe backlash called inappropriate. Okay, so Kmart Australia has pulled a children's bride costume from its shelves after a Melbourne mom launched a petition calling the
for
costume
fuck's sakes.
beyond inappropriate.
Is it because of child brides?
It is. It is. According to a petition on change.org, each year 12 million children, girls as young as 6, are sold or married off by their family without their consent. That's 1 million child marriages per month. And this costume
Do those
glorifies
Do
that.
those ceremonies use actual like gowns?
I doubt it.
They know where they can get a cheap costustume. Yeah.
I'm just wondering how much Kmart is actually supplying this, or this is just a
Well,
ridiculous thing.
Kmart pulled the costume, saying they made a
Cowards.
statement. Kmart Australia regrets the decision to sell the bride costume.
But it was a real hot seller while we had it.
That's a terrible costume.
That's something like little girls do.
little
though.
girls,
They're like,
they
isn't that what
always
they do?
talk
They just
about
like,
weddings.
yeah,
They
like
dress
get all
up
dressed up
and,
and
like-
pretend to get
They
married.
want to be
Yeah.
a prince? That's not freaking. Actually, yeah, I did have little weddings as a
Yeah.
There you go.
So now, where's Tito gonna get his bride gown now?
Next hot take headline: Man speaks from beyond the grave at his own funeral in Ireland.
So good.
What?
So good.
Mourners who attended the funeral of a man in Ireland were left in shock when they heard his voice from beyond the grave. Let me out! I got to do this in an Irish accent.
You really don't,
you
but
don't.
sure, you go ahead.
Yeah.
It's fucking dark in here.
That's Scottish.
Cried Shea Bradley from his coffin as it was being lowered into the ground.
Said knocking sounds
Kilkenny?
like he's
Yeah.
in the thing.
It was a pre-recorded message. He then sang "Hello again, hello." I just called to say goodbye. A take on the Neil Diamond song. So,
I was so confused when I saw that video because I didn't have.
well,
the
it
story.
turns out that everybody laughed because they knew the kind of guy that he was.
And the close family was in on it, but the other people didn't know. So it wasn't this thing. It had been prearranged with his brother the year before because he knew it was his terminal and stuff. But yeah, just a very it's a story we all need.
Yeah, that's really funny. I like that.
Okay, well, it's Halloween, so we have to talk about scary things. Eric Trump. He says
He
that
looks like a fish.
What, Donald or Eric?
Eric.
It was the inspiration for the costume in Shape of Water.
Oh my God, 100% looks like that.
Yeah.
Eric Trump warmed up the crowd at a campaign event in Minnesota by bypassing Halloween and Thanksgiving and going straight toward Christmas, saying, "We are gonna say Merry Christmas again. We're gonna start saying it in October."
No one ever stopped saying it.
Like as opposed to
You got a
Happy
little mohawk,
Holidays.
you know what I mean?
Yes.
A little bit. I got the try.
And not only is there a war on Christmas, but you have to start fighting back the war on Christmas in October. Screw Happy Halloween. Go straight to Merry Christmas.
And for them, they
Remembrance
sweep their
Day.
Thanksgiving too.
Why do we need 3 months of Christmas?
What?
3 months of Christmas?
We need more
Oh,
than 3
come
months.
I think you should do
Halloween-
year-round
I-
Christmas.
First of all, I
No.
hate Halloween, man. I walked into the dollar store.
Oh, you little
2
devil.
days. Legit. I walked into the dollar store the other day and they already had Christmas decorations up, and I'm like, yes, that's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Christmas sucks. Christmas is
bad.
just like
Halloween
so
is just for
much
fucking
work.
whores.
You
I
are the
can't.
worst. human being in life.
Christmas sucks, but you
Oh
don't
my
think
God.
Halloween is a lot of work?
Halloween's the worst.
Halloween's so much fun.
It's not.
But it's a lot of
That's
work.
because you're a slut.
It's true.
Okay, moving on.
Can't be a slutty elf for Christmas.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Moving on. Okay, I'm going to describe this story before I show you the picture.
So you're gonna do
Okay.
your job as you always do it. Got it.
Woman addicted to eating her own hair has giant hairball
No.
with tail
I don't wanna see it.
removed from her stomach.
Is
I
it
don't
a
want-
cat? It's a cat. Oh! I thought you were gonna show a picture of the woman. God.
What is this? Take it off.
What's it surrounded by?
No, take it
Her stomach.
It's like a baby bell. It's got a wax
Oh
coating.
my god.
I-
Can you please turn that off?
well, what, you like this better?
Yes. Take it full screen so the audience can suffer. We'll look at this.
Well, she was rushed. This unidentified woman was rushed into surgery where a giant hairball was found lodged in her digestive tract.
That's a real thing, though.
With a small tail of hair trailing into her intestines and a second 4-centimeter hairball nestled deeper in her bowel.
That's not.
Have you ever had like a hair stuck in your
it's the
throat?
worst.
One single hair?
In what?
In like your throat.
throat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
of
Imagine
course
having
he
a
has.
fucking
How and what activity preceded you getting this hair stuck
Well, I
in
date
your
girls
throat?
with long hair, so they sometimes get stuck in my throat.
That's what it is.
Shablam.
I just
There you go.
Just all the fucking.
Okay, I guess we should move on from this.
Oh, you put it back up.
But that's a real problem. Like, she can't help eating her own hair.
I know.
Go
but-
to therapy.
Yes, she can.
I can't. Go to therapy.
Everybody
she needs
can help eating their
psychological
own-
help from a
Yeah.
professional.
Okay. Now I'm going to show you this picture. Okay, it looks like a tattoo, right?
Isn't it?
Okay, but you can now ask
Is
to
it a
keep.
fold-in?
Wait. You can ask to keep the tattoos and skin of a loved one
What?
when they die.
Wow.
A mortician is offering to turn tattoos of your dead loved one into wall hangings for family after they have
As
passed.
creepy as that is, I'm kind of okay with it. Weirdly enough, I'm shocked by my reaction right now.
No, that's
This
fucking-
seems like something
I
I
think
would
it's
not
kinda
be
cool.
okay
I'm
with,
out.
but
I'm out.
it's not for me. I don't want that, but I'm okay with that existing.
Like an animal they had stuffed and like.
Taxidermy.
Yeah.
Taxidermy, yeah.
So Buffalo Bill, I'm gonna get the skin of my loved one into a lampshade.
That's
I
what I'm
get
gonna
you
do
stuff
with
and
you.
keep yours out.
It's like it's weird if it's okay if it's a wall hanging, but once you start making lampshades, that's
Yeah.
weird. That's the line. That's the line.
That's the line.
Well, there you go. So
Hot takes. Hot takes. Hot takes.
hot takes. That was in Cleveland, by the way.
Oh, they
So
knew what to
everybody
do.
in Cleveland, you know where to go to get your tattoo preserved.
LeBron James.
What tattoos do you have, Fred, that will be made into a wall hanging?
He doesn't have
Nobody
anything
wants
big
his
enough.
ass up on a wall.
What
about Tito?
Tito's gonna get his tramp stamp immortalized. It's a unicorn.
Do you actually have a tramp stamp?
No.
All right, check.
There you go. That's-
Everyone's seen
Today's
my
big
ass. I
point.
don't have one.
It's true, we have.
Yeah.
No mercy, babe.
That brings us to talking point number 2, primary colors. Okay, now we're going to dig into U.S. politics. The most recent polling in Iowa, which is the first in the nation caucus, Pete Buttigieg has risen to number 2 in Iowa. Elizabeth Warren is number 1. Bernie is 3, and actually Biden's down at number 4. Does Pete Buttigieg have a chance at the nomination?
No.
Why do you say that?
It's too far down in the polls. I don't think that'll happen.
But he's number 2 in Iowa.
In Iowa?
Yeah, but Iowa sets the tone for Iowa, then New Hampshire, then South Carolina.
Sure, but I also don't think the Democratic Party will allow it. They're the ones who nominate the person, not the people.
Also,
Well, no, wait, people vote.
People vote, but they don't have to go with what they do. It's what happened with the last election. Everyone voted for Bernie, but they were like,
No, people voted for Hillary.
I don't think so.
Yes,
man.
yes.
I don't think so.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't think you're right. I really don't think you're right.
Fact check.
But maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong.
Let's fight.
all right,
But I also don't think he has a chance, no.
a month from this episode,
And he
we will
shouldn't
come
have a
back to
chance.
this with a correction
Well,
for whoever is right
Whoever's-
here.
Or just put it at
No,
the bottom of the
he's-
screen whenever I talk.
he's,
Adam was wrong.
He's not going to win, unfortunately, because there aren't really a lot of black voters in Iowa. There are nationally, and that becomes an issue.
What is
and
that?
Because there's a lot of tension with the black community because of his handling of a shooting situation when he's the mayor of South Bend.
Did you say
Indiana.
there wasn't a lot of black, or there is a lot of black people?
There is not a lot of black people in Iowa
Right, I
compared
mean-
to the rest of the
I mean-
country who are caucusing
Right.
in the Democratic primary.
So first is Iowa, then is New Hampshire.
Very white.
Very white. But then is South Carolina. And if you look at South Carolina, Biden is well ahead.
I want Warren personally.
Yeah, same.
I mean, I'd also be happy with Pete. I mean, almost any of them.
I'd be happy with
almost
Biden.
any of them.
Oh my God, no.
Well,
No,
if it's Biden
no.
versus Trump.
Biden is why you have Trump. Like if you
No,
go,
it's not.
Yes, it is. If
No,
you go,
it's not. Biden
yes,
has
it is.
nothing to do with the 2016 election.
100%. That type of person is how you got to a place. That is how they got there. You want to go back to that, and then we'll circle around
See,
again.
I like Elizabeth Warren, but I'm worried about Elizabeth Warren, particularly over her healthcare stance. I totally am down with universal healthcare, but she has said that she wants to get rid of private insurance. Even
it.
Canada hasn't eliminated private insurance. It's supplemental to basic public health care.
Yes.
But Canada has not eliminated
Right.
private health care. So Elizabeth Warren wants to go further than where Canada is on health care and won't explain, to Bernie's credit, he at least explains the math, but she won't explain.
It's also a bit of a marathon. She just hasn't yet. She's had policy after policy after
But
policy
this
right from
one
the
is the
beginning.
one that
But we also have a
she-
year until the actual election, like,
I
and,
know,
and a
but
bunch of
this-
time before. Like, it's.
But
I think
that
she's
image
still-
of her is being cemented that she is so far left that I think a lot of these people in the middle, the independents, the centrists, I think Warren scares them where Biden doesn't scare them.
Right.
Who knows?
Right.
Or maybe
And that's how we
false.
got to Trump.
No,
Because they're the
if
ones who were running
independents,
everything.
if independents are not scared of Biden,
If
they will
corporations
vote for Biden.
If corporations are scared of Warren, then you should probably vote for Warren.
No, but I'm not saying corporations
I
are
know
scared.
I am.
I'm saying,
adding to your
I'm
point.
saying that, whatever, farmers in Ohio who want to get their tattoos immortalized, they are afraid of Warren, but they're not afraid of Biden.
Right.
So
still
Biden
don't
has
think
a
it's
better chance of winning against Trump.
Right, but then it's going to circle back around again. It's going to. It's how
I
you
know,
got
but-
to a
but
place.
Don't you want Trump defeated?
Yes, but I also don't want to go back to
Biden is
what it
the
was.
best- but if Biden is the best chance of defeating Trump,
Because it's okay. If there's someone out there who's worse than Trump, that's who's going to get elected after Biden. That's what's going to come.
No, I
because
think it's
people
the
are still
opposite.
going to be pissed
I
off.
don't understand the logic.
Okay, whatever.
Okay, well,
I'm
no,
done.
I don't
I'm done.
understand the logic, Jim.
I think it's the opposite. I think if you go with a very far left candidate and they win,
Thank you.
then I think like Elizabeth Warren would prompt a bigger right-wing person than Trump.
I don't.
Yeah, because it's a pendulum. It'll swing, right? So the farther left
But
the
that
pendulum
also-
swings, the farther right it'll swing now.
That also then means that maybe there is more of a chance of someone like Warren getting in now when
That's
there was
totally
not
possible.
a possible chance
Yeah.
for her
No.
in 2016 because
No, I think
of the
Warren
pendulum
has
swing
a
of Trump.
legitimate chance because of Trump.
I
But then I think the
agree.
reaction to Warren is going to be even greater than Trump.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of Trump, a gay Trump supporter made headlines recently when he tried to explain his support for Trump and MAGA. This
Say it like that.
That's how you have to say it. That's yeah.
MAGA.
Oh,
And okay, so gay Trump supporter and San Francisco resident Max Guglielmelli
Yep, that's it. Perfect.
opened up in an interview with San Francisco station KRON about his support for Trump. I would love a gay Trump supporter to come on this show, but he said, when I was in the military,
I won't be here that day.
I felt like I was the only liberal, so I couldn't wait to come back to California. I did some gender bending, wearing makeup and skirts in the army.
he was in the army?
We all had to look the same. I really wanted to express myself and be more unique. But he then explains he began to support Trump during his first run for office after seeing hypocrisy on the left. Quote, they are the ones that are the most vicious. I looked inside and I was like, oh, when I was supposed to be tolerant, I was the most intolerant. I started to question everything. The more educated I became, the more conservative I became in 2017.
All right.
You don't. It's this mistaken idea that you have to, like, if you're going to be tolerant, that means you have to also be tolerant of intolerance, which is not true, and it's just ridiculous.
It just sounds like a gay person with a lot of privilege.
I'm just getting the image in my head when he was just like, when he was in the army, he wanted to put makeup. He put makeup
I
on
don't
and things to be unique. And I'm getting, if anybody watches Family Guy, there's one of those cutaways where Peter Griffin is wearing, like, he's dressed up as a clown in the jungle and all these people are in fatigues. He's like, you guys are losers. We know they're looking for you.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
They're
that's
going to be looking for army guys.
Well, if this Trump supporter doesn't get you going, what about this Trump supporter?
The picture of Fred. Big reveal.
Big reveal. Oh, no. So a straight Trump supporter threatened to boycott a bar because this was in Minneapolis, because they were flying the big baby Trump balloon above the bar. So she tweeted,
Giant
Pamela,
balloon that looks like a crying Trump baby in a diaper.
okay.
so Pamela Ogletree in Minneapolis proclaimed defiantly, and the bar is called The Saloon, "The saloon has lost my business." What Pamela didn't seem to realize, because frankly, it seems she's never been to this bar, it's a gay bar. So the phrase, "it's a gay bar, Pamela," is now a meme, and there are t-shirts.
I like that.
That's how you clap back against
Clap back.
a
And that
Trump.
shot looks delicious. I'm not gonna lie.
If you can layer a shot like that, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know. His arms
called?
look pretty
Bazooka-
tasty to
Bazooka
me.
Joe?
This is just like two.
No, it's blue curacao,
Baileys.
banana liqueur, and Bailey's.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can add some like red sourpuss to it. And make
Next
rainbow.
show, Fred. You
Red. Right.
Or he's gonna mix us up some shots.
That's right. Okay.
like
yeah,
that.
we'll work on that. Tito, bop of the week.
Selena Gomez, look at me now.
Look at you now with your. Oh, I took my.
Is she okay?
There we go.
She's okay now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Great.
Oh,
She's doing
where's
great.
my? Oh, I don't have my. Keep
you
talking,
were
Tito.
speaking, your
Keep
little-
talking about Selena Gomez.
Oh, we just like kept going.
You don't want me to keep talking about it.
Fred, what was the wait? Why did we vamp? What were we waiting
Because
for?
I didn't have my notes about subscribing to us on YouTube. If you're watching us on
Really?
YouTube,
You need
helps
notes?
us greatly.
Literally done it 100 times.
I know,
You
but I
couldn't
have notes, so I make sure I get everything. YouTube.com/thepointguys helps us greatly, costs you nothing. Of course, don't just hit the red button, but hit the bell with a dead hand to make sure that you are notified every time a new episode is available. If you really want to help us out, go to our crowdfunding site. That's at Patreon, patreon.com/thepointguys. We are also available on the streaming service fearless. So get their app and download all their great content. Our audio podcast is on iTunes. And let us know whatever you think about Tito giving his face a hand job. At The Point Guys on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thank you, everybody. Happy Halloween. I don't know what's going on. We have a new show every Tuesday, so we will see you next Tuesday on The Point. You can put your face on now.
Da